Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
Within the PC Settings app window in Windows 8.1, you can click the Search and Apps category at the left side of the screen to display search and other app settings within this window. The categories of settings are listed in the pane at the left side of the screen. You click the setting categories shown in this listing to change their individual settings in the right side of this window. Note that you can click the back arrow that appears next to the Search and Apps title at the left side of the window to return to the main PC Settings window. This lesson will examine the settings you can change within the Search and Apps setting category. You can click the Search category at the left side of this window to view settings for the Search app and the Search pane within the charm bar in the area to the right. In the Search History section, you can click the Clear button to clear your search history. You can click the Manage My Microsoft Advertising and Other Personalization Info command to open a web page that will allow you to sign in with your Microsoft user account to set your advertising and other personal preferences for your account. Under the Use Bing to Search Online section, you can click the switch to enable or disable the use of Bing to display the results of web searches. Note that if disabled, the remaining options within this page are inaccessible. Under the Your Search Experience section, choose the option button that corresponds to the level of personalization you want your web search results to use. Under the Safe Search section, choose the option button that corresponds to the level of content filtering of web results you want Bing to use. In the Metered Connections section, you can click the toggle switches to enable or disable the settings shown by turning them on or off. The settings are Get Search Suggestions and Web Results from Bing over Metered Connections, and Get Search Suggestions and Web Results from Bing over Metered Connections even when I'm roaming. You can click the Privacy Statement hyperlink at the bottom of the page to open a web page where you can view the Windows 8.1 privacy statement if desired. You can click the Share category at the left side of this window to view app sharing settings in the area to the right. Under the Sharing Options section, you can click the switches for the two settings shown to toggle the options on or off. The settings shown are Show Apps I Use Most Often at the top of the apps list and Show a List of How I Share Most Often. If you enable the second option, then choose the number of items to display in that list from the Items in List drop-down menu. You can also click the Clear List button to clear the list of most used apps. Under the Use these apps to share section, you can enable or disable the use of the listed app for sharing by clicking the toggle switch button next to each app to turn it on or off. You can click the Notifications category at the left side of this window to view app notification settings in the area to the right. Under the Notifications section, you can click the toggle switch to turn it on or off to enable or disable each setting shown. The settings are Show App Notifications, Show App Notifications for the lock screen, Play Notification Sounds, and Turn on my screen when I get a call. Under the Quiet Hours section, you can enable a duration of time when you will not receive notifications from apps by turning the Quiet Hours settings to the on position. You can click the switch to toggle quiet hours off if you prefer. If enabled, you can then choose which hours will be the quiet hours by selecting a starting and ending time using the drop-downs under the From and the To sections. If you want to receive calls during quiet hours, then ensure that the Receive Calls During Quiet Hours switch is set to the On position. You can disable calls during this time by clicking the switch to turn it to the off position. Under the Show Notifications from these apps section, you can decide from which apps you want to receive notifications. For each app listed, you can click its toggle switch to turn notifications from that app on or off. You can click the App Sizes category at the left side of this window to view apps and the sizes of apps that are installed in the area to the right. You can click an app within this list and then click the Uninstall button that appears to uninstall the app from your computer. You can click the Defaults category at the left side of this window to view settings that determine which app is set to be used by default to perform tasks in Windows 8.1 in the area to the right. Under the Choose Default Apps section, you can click the App tile shown to select the name of the app that you want to use for each activity by default from a pop-up menu of app choices that appears. If no default app has been set, you can click the Choose a Default button to select a default app from the same pop-up menu of apps that appears. For advanced users, you can select which app to use by default by associating a default app with a file extension or a protocol. To associate an app by file extension, click the Choose Default Apps by File Type command. You can then scroll through the listing of file types shown and then click the button under the Default App column for the desired file type to set a default app to open that selected type of file. When you're finished, simply click the Back button in the upper left corner to return to the Defaults setting category. To associate an app by protocol, click the Choose Default Apps by Protocol command. You can then scroll through the listing of protocols shown and click the button under the Default App column for the desired protocol to set a default app to open that protocol. When you're finished, once again click the Back button in the upper left corner to return to the Defaults setting category.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.